What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are headed to the junkyard for 40% off. The sale has been going on for 2 days now, and it is going on for another 2 days. Tomorrow's the last day, and I don't think I'm gonna head to the yard tomorrow because I got some other things to do. So today we're gonna roam the junkyard, see what's there. I haven't been there in a minute, and realistically, I'm just looking for another pair of CRV calipers. Somebody on my live stream last night told me that there's an Element here that's 5-speed all-wheel drive. Let's find it. Wow. Mistaken. Front wheel drive. Got me all excited for no reason. I always thought these little subwoofers are nice right here. This thing slaps. I will say though, it's always nice to have these speed sensors as extra. I'm just going to go ahead and clip the whole entire harness because I'm going to need the plug too. There should be a little spacer in here as well too that you don't want to forget. Oh, straight into the water. That washer is gone. You need that washer to space the sensor correctly to the gear, so that way you don't shred the sensor. Ask me how I know. Now this car is front wheel drive, and the Elements do come all wheel drive, and these are stubbies. Stubbies are like axle cups that keeps the hub together when it's not being used, and I'm debating if I want to snag that. But I'm gonna go check out CRV stuff first, and maybe I'll find a front wheel drive one and pull them off of those. But I'm sure these splines are exactly the same. Sheesh, Matt, where you at? It'd be nice to have that transmission as a spare, but really don't need it. Whew, this thing reeks. Golly. I wonder if Pinche Enrique has already hit this. Some clean mud flaps. I would have pulled the transmission if it was here, but it's already gone. 40% off, you can get a K-swap for super cheap. A long block right now is $250 before tax, and then the transmission is $150. So with tax and core, you're gonna be under like 500 bucks. Not a bad way to start a first K-swap, right? Now that I've thought about it, $150 before tax for a transmission right now is a good deal. Do I want to pull it? I don't know. I've gone through 6 rows and I've not seen a CRV RD1. There's this one. Calipers all taken apart. Sheesh. Bear B20. Try to find one that has both sides complete, untouched. They do have some empty rows here. Halfway down the SUV side, only one CRV. Replacement rotors. The Odyssey calipers are very similar. but I do see some differences with the caliper of the Odyssey. Sheesh, driver's side door, gray interior. Interesting. Wow, okay. We're at the end. Only one RD1 CRV. That's crazy. I'm gonna walk the import row and then work my way back up to that CRV and just yank those calipers. Last we saw this car, it was complete. This thing's got aftermarket motor mounts. Good for B series, guys. Interesting. That's one way to secure a bumper. What in tarnations? Oh man, this thing had a sunroof. That's crazy. Yo. Oh, transmission stuff is in here. What the fuck? Yo. I'm dead. Sorry, I put it back. The things you see in the junkyard. You guys hear that? Okay, this car is all-wheel drive, so there's no stubby. But first things first, gotta make sure all the hardware is here for the caliper. And it looks like we're just missing the 214s, which is those two right there. So I guess we're pulling these calipers. So it just occurred to me that this car is a 5-speed all-wheel drive, and this must have been the one that I saw come in just a little while ago, but I didn't want to come here to check it out. Shift the box, everything is all taken out, and whoever got this definitely scored. Probably not on a 40% off sale though, but still scored regardless. What's weird is my valve stem disappeared one day, and I've been running on a flat. That's weird. I paid $44. It was 15 each, and then core and tax and all that stuff. $44 for CRV calipers. Score in my books. So right now I'm gonna head home, I'm not going to clean these calipers because we're not using it, so it's just something I want to demonstrate real quick. I'm gonna go home, grab my spindles, grab all my other parts, and see if it all works. See if this budget big brake upgrade stuff that I have, you know, for this video, it's going to work, because I haven't seen these brackets or rotors in like over 7-8 years. See you guys at home. Obviously, we are back home, guys, and it just super started downpouring. You guys probably noticed we have the canopy finally back up. We also got a new lamp as well too, because the other one fried, and that's trash now. So wow, the rain it's really coming down. I'm glad I put that tarp up yesterday, although the ball bungee cord I bought 25, and this tarp 10 by 20 uses almost freaking 50. So I was short, and I used zip ties. So right here on the screen, pulled up some forums and stuff. I want to make sure that I have this in the description below. It is a Honda Tech thread from Brake Experts, and it's literally like all kinds of different options you can use, OEM parts to make a budget big brake upgrade. So Brake Expert brake chart thread civic brake upgrade for the EF, EG, DC, and Integras. A lot of options in here. This is actually what I use to build my big brake setup for my wagon. I'll show you guys in just a second. And there's just some other forums here I was looking at, and this one here literally says the ITR and the CRV calipers are the same, where when I did research before doing the 5-lug onto my EF sedan, the ITR DC2R spec spindle caliper rotor setup is identical to the RD1 CRV, which is why I did it on my EF sedan, because it is a budget way of doing it. Instead of spending money for the 36mm ITR spindle setup, I went with the CRV, you know, cheap from the junkyard. So I'll make sure to link the Brake Expert in the description below, but let's take you guys outside. So these right here are my stock EF sedan front spindles, rotor, and caliper setup from this car. The stock Civics that aren't the EX model comes with like a 9.2 or 9.3 inch rotor, not the smallest like the HF, not the largest like the EX. But honestly, if you're not doing a big brake upgrade, just get a nice set of rotors and really good pads. Now my brother's wagon over there, the brown one, it has eBay drill slotted front rotors with new master cylinder, new brake fluid, but he also has Hawk HP Plus pads, and that thing stops really well. For those who's been in my KRX, you guys know my KRX stops on a dime. The KRX literally has just DA front spindles, DA rear trailing arm, DA brake booster master, and dot 4 fluid, stainless steel brake lines. That thing stops on a dime. On my wagon right there, we are using the stock Civic spindle, the DX model, and we have the Acura Legend single pot calipers that I got from the junkyard, similar to ITR. It has Mini Cooper Stop Tech slotted rotors, 11.1 inch rotors on there, and we had to modify a lot. I can't show you obviously because it's on the car. We modified a lot to the caliper to get it to clear the rotor, but no bracketry, no nothing like that. And the wagon has been working, I think I did that in 2014. It was a long time ago, and it stops really well, other than the brake boosted delete putting a lot of strain on your leg, right? On the form right here, if you're using like an Integra spindle or the EX Civic EK, EX Civic EG, or the EX Civic 9091 EF, you can literally just take the Integra calipers and rotors and stuff bolted on, and you'd have a simple big brake 10.3 inch rotor setup. Or on those same spindles as mentioned, you can switch over to the ITR CRV calipers with the Mini Cooper 11 inch rotors and no bracketry, and it should just fit right on with no modifications. As mentioned, these are the Civic DX, not the EX spindles, and this is going to either require modifications like my wagon, which I don't recommend, or you can order the big brake bracket setup. So let me show you guys really quickly. Over here I have the fast brake brackets, which I've had sitting here for a very long time, right? And we have the Mini Cooper rotors that has been spun but sat here for the longest time. So let me grab all these real quick. It's like about 9.5, give or take. And let me show you the other rotor. This is just about 11 1/4. caliper size difference, very noticeable. Now I'm gonna try to bolt the CRV onto the stock spindle with, I'm gonna bolt the CRV caliper onto the spindle with the stock Civic rotor and show you the giant gap that's on there. So what people were doing was they were milling out the caliper here in order to slip it in between the rotor. Another way people were doing it was they were putting washers in the back of the rotor to pull the rotor out in order to slip the caliper in. That's a sketch way to do it because not all washers are 100% identical on the thickness. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the rotor out. Fastbrakes.com. You can grab this over there. I don't remember how much this costs, but this was $3 at the junkyard because that's where I got it from. Okay, looks like we got plenty of space between the bolt and the rotor. Close, but plenty of space. Caliper going on. I mean, that's pretty close. Like, how does this even make sense? Honestly, I feel like the bracket is meant for a much larger rotor because we have a gap right here, right? And without the bracket, you're gonna have to modify the inside of the caliper like I did on my wagon. So this is very interesting to me. You can probably put another ½ inch of a rotor in there. You can probably go like 11.5 if something like that exists. But yeah, well, that's interesting. I kind of want to try it out without the bracket. I was on my laptop doing some research and I found some information, because if you search, most of the answers are on Google. So I did some research online, guys, and I'm gonna let you know right now that you can find almost all your answers on Google. Before I get into it, I want to show you guys the bracket is off, the 11-inch rotor is on, caliper is on, and you can see that it is almost a little under ½ inch off. Honestly, now looking at this, I don't know how I did it in my wagon. DX spindle, Legend caliper, and Mini Cooper rotors. I honestly think maybe the bracketry is a little bit different on the Legend calipers opposed to the CRV, but if I shaved a lot off of that caliper, golly, I must have shaved a lot off that caliper. But anyways, so what I found out was there are two styles of this bracket, okay? This one right here that I have, when we mocked it up with the CRV caliper and the rotor itself, we had a good like ½ inch clearance between the rotor and the caliper. Turns out this one here is this product, which is meant for like RL caliper with 11.8 inch rotor. My rotor that's on the table is 11.1 or 2. Even though it says RL caliper, we mounted it up with a CRV caliper, which I'm sure will still work with 11.8. I don't remember if the RL is a twin pot, but anyways, this caliper I have here, obviously it's not going to work. I mean, technically it will, but the brake pads will not be fully on the rotor itself because it sticks out further, almost ½ inch. But if you go over here, this is the other bracket that I need, and you can see how much more thinner it is in the middle, which then makes sense to that gap that we have between the rotor and caliper. This is for the OEM caliper, like the CRV or the ITR, to use it on an 11-inch rotor, not 11.8, 11 inch for the DX spindle. So this is what I need to make everything on my table work like I had hoped to show you guys. But you know what I'm saying, we're all learning here, right? This is a learning curve for me. Now I know not much more I can do here on the table, guys. I can't do anything with this combination because we don't have the right bracket. Without the bracket, calipers won't fit. As simple as it is, you can get some Integra spindles and you can run the calipers from the CRV or the ITR along with the 11-inch rotor, and it'd be the easiest big brake upgrade you can do. Otherwise, you can spend that $300 for this bracket to do it on a DX spindle if you can't find an Integra or EX spindle anywhere around your area. This is the other alternate route. If you don't have the money to do all of that, just get some good rotors and brake pads. So I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick little junkyard stroll. Wasn't much in there. We did get the calipers we were looking for, although we couldn't use it. Would have been nice to grab that element transmission, but I don't need it, so I don't want to spend money where I don't need to right now, but I will say that if you have a pick and pull around your area or any yard around your area that has 40% plus sales, man, take advantage of it. Because if you're trying to do a fresh K swap or even a D to a B series or H series, if you had an H series in your yard, take advantage of those sales, man. It's a great place to get started on a swap without spending an arm and a leg. If you guys enjoyed the junkyard stroll and a little bit of the brake stuff I just mentioned, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for regular programming with the EF sedan, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.